A very good day to you. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. It's Thursday, January 26th. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run. After serving on the Port Jervis City Council for 12 years, 2 as councilman at large and going on 10 years as mayor, Kelly Decker announced last night that he will not seek re-election in November. The Democratic mayor made the announcement at the end of his annual State of the City address, saying it's time to pass the mantle.
I still have a plethora of ideas I can offer, but I believe that this is the time to step aside and give someone else the opportunity to help move our city forward. Different ideas inspire change, and it is my hope that someone is elected that can offer a breath of fresh air to our city with positive hope for the future.
In his annual address to the city residents, Decker enumerated the many accomplishments of the past year, including repaving streets and relining sewer pipes. An investigation by Orange County District Attorney's Office into the December 16, 2022 fatal accident in the city of Newburgh in which a paramedic was struck and killed by a vehicle was a tragic accident, not a crime, District Attorney David Hoovler said yesterday. 55-year-old Lisa Sillins died after being struck around 6:20 p.m. by a van driven by a White Plains man as she walked across Route 9W near the intersection of North Street. Newburgh City Police recovered digital recordings of the collision that showed it from various angles. It appears from the recordings that the pedestrian, who was wearing dark-colored clothing and was not walking in or nearby a crosswalk, stepped in front of the van as it drove by, said Hoovler. He said traffic tickets that were originally issued in the incident have been dismissed. The Orange County-owned Valley View Nursing Home sits on over 100 acres of land in the town of Goshen, and the legislature's Valley View Advisory Committee is continuing its discussions about possible alternative uses for that property. On Wednesday, the group, led by legislator Michael Amo, talked about the possibility of developing non-nursing home living, something that participant Douglas Hovey, CEO of Independent Living in Newburgh, supports.
I would see this, being that the property is so large surrounding Valley View, as a multi-year development. Starting with maybe a 10-acre parcel, and building that out, and then looking at the next 10 acres, and ultimately creating what we would say is a completely integrated community that allows people from all walks of life to live a quality of life.
Hovey and others on the advisory committee discussed the possibility of the county issuing a request for proposals to determine the level of interest by developers. More news right after this.
Find over 100 retailers allowing you to spend hours shopping safely at the Galleria at Crystal Run. Enjoy the big brands and the diverse selection of family-owned stores all in one location. The Galleria at Crystal Run offers dining options for everyone with Fuji 110 Grill, Allen's Mediterranean Grill, and Peru Cuisine. Discover the Mid-Hudson Valley's premier shopping, dining, and entertainment destination, the Galleria at Crystal Run. For more information, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit GalleriaCrystalRun.com.
Foreign Trade Zone number 37 is based in Orange County. It was originally headquartered at Stewart Airport. It has, for the most part, become dormant, and now the county wants to reinvigorate it as an additional source of economic development and commerce. County Economic Development Director Stephen Gross says there's already some renewed interest.
We've got 2 companies that are interested in coming into the foreign trade zone. And what makes our foreign trade zone really unique from, I believe, all the other ones across the state of New York is our enabling legislation allows us to offer our benefits to any county across the state.
Foreign trade zones allow companies to import component parts and not pay tariffs on them until they are assembled and shipped out of the zone. The Department of the Army has conceded and agreed to fund the West Point Fire Department to the tune of $1.8 million for equipment to cover shortfalls. 2 weeks ago, Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer was at West Point to turn up the heat on the Army brass in Washington to secure the commitment for the funding that is actually 150% of the fire department's original request. Both lanes of westbound traffic on I-84 in the town of Montgomery were shut down around 6 p.m. last night when a tractor-trailer caught fire. Flames shot out from under the rear axle and ran up the side of the trailer. Westbound traffic was diverted at exit 28. Local firefighters were called to the scene. There were no reports of injuries. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run.